Next. Ashhadu
Asyhadu
anna
anna
la ilaha
la ilaha
illallah
illallah
wa ashhadu
wa asyhadu
anna
anna
Muhammadan
Muhammadan
Rasulullah.
Rasulullah.
Ashhadu
Hello, Muslim friends of the world. In Southeast Asia, in several countries such as Indonesia, the majority of the population is Muslim. However, in several countries in Southeast Asia, Muslims are a minority. One of them is Cambodia. This country, which experienced civil war in the 1970s, is mostly Buddhist. So, when did Islam enter Cambodia? According to P2W Lipi researchers who raised the theme Getting to Know the Cham Muslim Minority in Cambodia, Islam arrived when Cambodia still had various kingdoms. The best known is the Kingdom of Kampa. Islam arrived around the 10th and 11th centuries. Most of the Cham ethnic group embraced Islam in the 16th and 17th centuries, before the fall of the Kampa kingdom. Towards the collapse of the Kampa kingdom, many of them moved to other areas, or to Malaysia, Indonesia, and China. But until now the Cham community still exists in Cambodia and most of them are Muslims, explained Betty. He added that the Cham community plays an important role in spreading Islam in Cambodia. They had an ups and down relationship with the King of Cambodia. They mingled with the Malay Muslim community which had existed in Cambodia since the 13th century. Before the Khmer Rouge in 1975, Cambodia's Muslim community actually consisted of Khams from the former Kampa Kingdom in Vietnam which collapsed in 1470. The Khams were initially converted to Islam by traders and craftsmen from Arabia and India. These people immigrated in large numbers to Cambodia in the 15th century. Apart from the Cham ethnic group, Malay Muslims from Indonesia and the area now called Malaysia also entered Cambodia in the same century. Arabs, immigrants from the Indian subcontinent, and natives who converted to Islam are also part of the Muslim community in Cambodia today. In 1975, Islam was very developed. This could be seen from the growth of hundreds of mosques with around 300 religious teachers and 300 preachers. Many of these teachers studied in Malaysia and various Islamic universities in Cairo, India or Medina. However, persecution under the cruel and authoritarian Khmer Rouge communist regime resulted in their numbers being decimated. However, and by the end of 1980 they may not have regained their former strength. The Khmer Rouge used a consistent pattern of killing Cham people. They also carried out ethnic dispersal of the Cham, such as forced labor in the fields or arresting them because of alleged resistance or Communist Party rebellion. Not only Muslims, all religions, including Buddhists, were persecuted during the Khmer Rouge's rule. At that time, 132 mosques were destroyed and Muslims were not allowed to worship. They were also forced to eat pork and then killed if they refused. After the end of the Khmer Rouge rule, religious rules were restored. As many as 185,000 Cham residents were recorded as having returned to live in Cambodia in the mid-1980s. There are still mosques still standing. Slowly, the movement of Islam became stronger again, although not as strong as before, when it had not been eroded by the Khmer Rouge. Some historians think that Islam arrived in Cambodia in the 11th century AD. At that time, the Muslims played an important role in the government of the Kampa kingdom. After the kingdom collapsed, the Muslims broke away. Some arrived in Cambodia. Cham Muslims believe their lineage is connected to Rasulullah's father-in-law, Jazi bin Riyab, who was the father of Zainab, one of Rasulullah's wives. This is associated with the arrival of friends in Indochina in 617 to 618 from Abyssinia by sea. According to data from the Pew Research Center, the number of Muslims in Cambodia in 2009 reached 236,000, or 1.6% of the total population. However, according to the chairman of the Cambodian Muslim Student Senate, Slees Alphen, the Muslim population in his country is estimated at 5%. Most of them are ethnic Kams and Malays, who are minority groups in Cambodia. In 2008, Muslims in Cambodia reached 321,000 people. The majority of Muslims in Cambodia are Sunnis of the Shafi'i sect who mostly live in Kampong Cham province. The province, with an area of 9,799 square kilometers, is home to 1,680,694 people, 2008. Before the Khmer Rouge's victory in 1975, Cambodia's Muslim community actually consisted of Kams from the former Kampa Kingdom in Vietnam, which collapsed in 1470 AD. In the Oxford Encyclopedia, The Modern Islamic World, 2002, it is stated that the practices and beliefs of Muslims in Cambodia are similar to those of other Orthodox Southeast Asian Muslims. They tend to follow religious practices more regularly than Vietnamese Muslims. The development of Islam and the Muslim community in Cambodia cannot be separated from the role of other Islamic countries. The presence of Salafis and Wahhabis there, for example, as written by Bjorn Blangsley, is the result of funding provided by the Islamic Development Bank located in Jeddah, the World Muslim League, Rabitha al-Alam al-Islami, as well as a number of organizations in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait which funding the establishment of Islamic schools in Cambodia. An important tool in instilling religious understanding in Cambodia is school development. Most of the new schools there are madrasas, some of which use the Pesantren concept with further and in-depth study of Islamic texts. As of 2005, the number of Muslim settlements in Cambodia had reached 417 villages, with an average of 3 to 7 Islamic schools in each village.